5 global awards, one name dominating every headline. But the real question shaking the industry today is simple. Why do the world's biggest brands still rely on Kim Tay Young? Kim Tay Young is no longer just a K-pop idol stepping into the world of fashion. In 2026, he stands at the center of a global shift, one that is quietly redefining how luxury brands choose their ambassadors, measure influence, and connect with consumers. Winning 5 major global fashion honors is not just a symbolic achievement. In an industry historically dominated by supermodels, Hollywood actors, and legacy elites, Taehyung's recognition signals something much deeper, a transformation of power. For decades, fashion houses relied on exclusivity. They selected faces that represented distance, unreachable beauty, controlled narratives, and carefully curated mystique. But Taehyung represents something entirely different. He is both accessible and aspirational, a paradox that modern audiences find irresistible. Brands are not choosing him randomly, they're choosing him strategically. The strategy behind the choice. At the center of this phenomenon lies a key factor: engagement power. When Taehyung collaborates with a luxury brand like Celine, the results are immediate and measurable. Social media platforms erupt. Within minutes, his posts generate millions of interactions, likes, shares, comments, and discussions that extend far beyond traditional fashion audiences. But numbers alone do not explain everything. What brands truly value is what industry analysts now call the V effect. It is not just about visibility, it's about conversion of attention into desire. When Taehyung wears a piece, it does not remain just a product, it becomes a statement, a trend, and often a symbol of identity for millions of fans worldwide. Unlike traditional models, whose influence often stops at visual appeal, Taehyung carries a narrative. Every appearance tells a story, whether it's effortless elegance, vintage charm, or bold experimentation. This storytelling ability allows brands to communicate more than just fashion. They communicate emotion. From idol to global fashion authority. The 5 global awards he has received are not isolated recognitions. They are reflections of a larger industry acknowledgement. Taehyung is no longer an outsider in fashion. He is becoming one of its central figures. This shift did not happen overnight. His journey into fashion began subtly, with appearances that quickly went viral. Fans and critics alike noticed his natural sense of style, unforced, intuitive, and distinct. Over time, designers began to see something rare, a celebrity who could interpret fashion, not just wear it. Today, his presence at fashion events often generates more attention than entire runway shows. Cameras follow him, headlines center around him, and perhaps most importantly, consumers respond to him. Why brands keep choosing him? The answer lies in 3 strategic advantages. 1. Global reach without borders. Taehyung's influence is not limited to a single region. From Asia to Europe to the United States, his appeal remains consistently strong. For global brands, this is invaluable. Instead of investing in multiple ambassadors for different markets, one figure like Taehyung can unify campaigns worldwide. 2. Emotional connection with audiences. Modern consumers are no longer passive. They seek connection, authenticity, and meaning. Taehyung's personality, often described as warm, artistic, and introspective, creates a bond that goes beyond marketing. Fans do not just admire him, they trust him. 3. Cultural relevance in the digital age. In an era driven by algorithms and viral moments, relevance is everything. Taehyung consistently dominates online trends, ensuring that brands associated with him remain part of ongoing global conversations. A shift in industry power. Traditionally, fashion authority was controlled by a small circle, editors, designers, and legacy institutions, but Taehyung represents a decentralization of that power. Now, influence flows directly from artist to audience. This does not mean the old system has disappeared. Instead, it has evolved. Brands still value craftsmanship and heritage, but they now understand that visibility without connection is no longer enough. Taehyung bridges that gap. He brings heritage brands into the present, translating their identity into something younger audiences can understand and embrace. In doing so, he becomes more than an ambassador. He becomes a cultural translator. Is he the world's #1 fashion icon? This is where speculation begins. Winning 5 global awards certainly places Taehyung among the top figures in fashion, but being #1 is not just about awards. It's about sustained influence, long-term impact, and the ability to shape the industry's future. Some argue that traditional icons still hold that position, backed by decades of legacy. Others believe that Taehyung represents a new kind of icon, one defined not by history, but by real-time global impact. If the current trajectory continues, the question may no longer be whether he is the #1 fashion icon, but whether the definition of fashion icon itself has changed because of him.
In today's fashion industry, visibility is no longer enough. What brands are chasing now is something far more powerful, impact that converts, and no one embodies that better than Kim Tay Young. The modern luxury market operates on a new kind of currency. It is not gold, not heritage, not even exclusivity alone. It is attention, measured in clicks, shares, conversations, and most importantly, emotional reactions. This is where Taehyung's influence transforms into what experts call the V effect. Unlike traditional celebrities, whose campaigns often rely on polished advertisements and controlled media appearances, Taehyung's impact thrives in a more organic ecosystem. A single photo, a short video clip, or even a candid moment at an event can ignite a global reaction within seconds. When he appears wearing Celine, the effect is immediate. Social media platforms experience a surge of engagement. Search trends spike. Items associated with him often sell out or gain sudden popularity. But what makes this phenomenon truly unique is not just its speed, it is its depth. At first glance, the success of Taehyung's collaborations may seem purely numerical. Millions of likes, millions of views, millions in earned media value. However, behind these numbers lies a deeper psychological mechanism. Taehyung's influence operates on 3 levels. 1. Identification. Fans do not just see Taehyung as a distant celebrity, they see him as someone relatable, someone whose tastes, emotions, and personality resonate with their own. This creates a powerful sense of identification. Aspiration. At the same time, he represents an elevated version of reality, elegant, confident, and artistically expressive. This duality allows audiences to both relate to him and aspire to be like him. Validation. When Taehyung wears or endorses a product, it becomes socially validated. Fans feel more confident embracing that product because it carries his implicit approval. This combination is rare and extremely valuable. Before the rise of global digital icons, luxury brands relied heavily on traditional marketing strategies, magazine covers, runway shows, and celebrity endorsements with limited interaction. But the landscape has changed. Today's audiences are not passive consumers, they are active participants. They comment, share, remix, and reinterpret content in real time. In this environment, static campaigns often struggle to maintain relevance. Taehyung, however, thrives in this dynamic space. His presence doesn't feel like advertising, it feels like a moment, authentic, spontaneous, and emotionally charged. This is why his influence extends far beyond the initial campaign. Interestingly, the V effect is not limited to fashion. When Taehyung engages with a brand, the impact often spreads across multiple industries. Beauty products associated with him gain increased visibility. Travel destinations he visits experience spikes in interest. Music and art styles he embraces become trending topics. This cross-industry influence amplifies his value even further. For brands, this means that partnering with Taehyung is not just about selling a product, it's about entering a broader cultural conversation. Brands are not simply using Kim Tay Young, they are investing in a phenomenon. And in a world where attention is the most valuable currency, he may just be the most powerful figure the fashion industry has ever seen.